Hello, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today for our regular Tuesday live show at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, where we take your immigration questions, general education, not intended as individual legal guidance, live, and give answers to stuff that we give answers on, and give you just some perspective because the U.S. immigration system, unfortunately, is very confusing and it's all over the place. And so having a resource you can go to and ask some quick questions, we'll give you general ideas if we can right here. It's not intended as individual legal guidance. This is just general educational content. But shoot it out here, 30 minutes here. And if you follow us live on U.S. Immigration Talk, which is our primary YouTube page, I recommend following there. Most chance of getting your questions answered. But we do pop-ups in addition to the Tuesday one. So you might get some more time to get to know us and just know how we handle the firm and who we are in case you want to hire an immigration attorney. If you did want to consult with the office, email us. Actually go to our website, jqqlaw.com/contact. Fill in the box there with information. So we know a little bit about what kind of case you have. We don't do cases like asylum or deportation, stuff like that. So that's why we have that contact page so that we could quickly see what it is without having to pay a consultation fee or something. That we can say, hey, listen, we don't do this kind of case. So that's that for you. And if you're interested in a marriage green card case or a fiance visa, the first thing you should do is download a guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's a great resource, 50-plus page PDF that you can download for free to get an understanding of what's going on. Having said that, let's jump into some questions. We're having some problems logging on to TikTok for some reason today, but hopefully it'll come up. Behruzi asks, visa category is F31 and have been documented to qualify the NBC in December. I'm Iranian Australian and assigned consulate Sydney. How long does it take to get an interview? I don't have answers about timelines, especially I don't know really. It just depends on however long they get it. It's so different all the time that I really don't like answering questions about timelines. Zubair asks, how long does it take in general to get a decision after review? There's no fixed timeline. I don't know what kind of case you have, your case is current or not, or all that kind of stuff. T says, hello, any vacancy up for lawyer? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Zubair said, I've completed my interview, but there's no update on that on the website. Sorry that's the case. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know the details of your case, if you have any unique issues or not. Typically, the answer is within immediately a day or a week, but sometimes it takes a month, and that's not too abnormal, unfortunately. Garves asks, how much time does it currently take for NBC after? So again, more questions about timelines. That's coming back. We went for a couple months where people weren't obsessively asked about timelines. I don't have any timeline questions, answers. Black says, if I don't list one of my kids in my application, how can I fix that? I already got my green card. Well, at this point, it's going to be hard to get it, to fix it, because you already went on the record. So we got to look to see what basis of a green card you had, why you didn't say it. For example, if you have a green card lottery case and you didn't list the kid, that could be a reason why they take your green card away. But there's other types of cases where if it was employment-based, for example, it doesn't really matter if you mentioned your kid or not. I mean, it does delay their stuff potentially. So we got to see what's going on, why you said it, if it's fixable. So there's more to the issue than just telling me you haven't listed your kid. We got to look at the application and risks and harms that come your way. Sarush asks, hi, John. Nice to see you. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you, Sarush. I appreciate that. Arctic says, my cousin got damage to his property, his record. How can he show good moral character when it comes to, I don't know. I have to talk with your cousin to see. I'm not sure, because you say he got a damage to property, his record. I think he damaged property on his record is what you're saying, but there's always more to the story. So it's not something I can hear. He should definitely consult and have an immigration attorney that he talks with. SM says, hello, should conditional green card holders through marriage to a U.S. citizen worry about reentry after years travel at this time? I'm a Lebanese person. Well, Lebanon's not listed on the travel ban list. Whether there's something to worry, it's very hard for me. There's nothing legal I could say that says, okay, this is the law or this is what's happening. We're getting a lot of these questions about fear of travel and all that. It's just impossible for me to say. It's too speculation for me to say stop living your life or something like that. So Lebanon is not listed on on the travel ban list. Wasn't there last time, surprisingly, frankly, but nonetheless, it isn't. So I can only go by what the law is right now. If your friend has any issues, his case isn't strong, he has arrest history, that's the stuff you definitely need to look at. Sursha, is this travel ban affecting Iranian living outside Iran? Travel ban will affect people who are non-citizens and potentially you probably non-residents. So yeah, so does it affect Iranian living outside Iran? No, if you don't want to come to America or at all, it has no effect on you. Janet says, hi, what does it mean when you are DQ'd, but NBC asks you to bring some documents to your interview? That means the National Visa Center basically accepted your case. You had some issues, but they don't want to hold you up. So they'll still put you in line to get an interview, but get your documents in order in preparation for the interview time does come. Arctic says, thanks, you're welcome. IMCC writer asks, with all these cuts and firings of immigration judges, the backlog is going to get ridiculous. Yeah, that's it. It's not just immigration court; it's all everywhere else. Garv asks, and what about after the interview? I don't know. It takes however long they want to take it. And Kov says, is it risky for a green card holder who are able to apply for citizenship this year? It's not a proper question because, like, is it risky for me to, get an airplane? Sometimes airplanes crash, and I mean, like, it's like it's too open-ended for me to answer something like that. SB asks, if Iranian citizens confront the travel ban, is it possible to request a waiver from immigration pending case? Well, there is no travel ban today when I'm answering this, so I can't answer a legal question when there's no law. It's just impossible for me to answer that question because there's nothing to answer. Sush asks, I'm a K-1 visa applicant, dear John, being stuck in AP for 7 months now. Yeah, you're probably going to have big problems, Sush. So last time around, the travel ban would have affected you, and there's no way around it. We'll see if the travel ban is going to be more nuanced and helpful this time around. But the AP situation is a mess. I'm sorry about that. It's a disaster. So annoying, but we really don't know. And hopefully in a couple of days, not hopefully, but a couple of days we'll have a better idea what's going on. Myers, any updates on the Islamabad embassy? Nothing good. Everything's just slow same old for Pakistan. TikToker asks, I won my green card through the lottery and have no legal issues. Can't travel outside the U.S. I can't advise you individually, but you have your green card to travel. It gives you permission to travel. Now, I don't know anything about you, or you have been arrested or something like that. I don't know. Say no illegal issues, but I can't give general information. Like if you ask me, am I healthy? I'm young. I'm 20 years old, and I've run 4 miles every day. Am I healthy? I don't know. I can't answer that question. C1 says, I signed up for a diversity visa 2026 from Asia, and let's say I didn't win. Can I still apply for an M1 aviation study? Yeah, you can. And can I adjust my status? Adjustment of status is applying for a green card. That's a whole thing on its own. So you're getting way too far ahead in line. I think you mean if you did the lottery, you enter the U.S. on the M1, can you adjust status? Generally, yes, but you need to have all these things ducks in a row. Did you maintain status? Did you have any background violations? What did you tell them at the interview? Are you going to school? Are you getting grades? You didn't violate it in some way. You didn't overstay. Yes, you can. A person can in that situation, but whether you'll be able to, we got to sit and talk about your life. Suresh says, thank you, dear John. Always nice to watch your live videos. Thank you, Suresh. I wish I had better news, but I appreciate the kind words. Daniel asks, is the rule still that you have to be here for 3 consecutive years to apply for naturalization? You have to be living and residing in the United States with a U.S. citizen spouse for the last 3 years after getting a green card. That's the basic rule. There are other requirements too. We say 3 consecutive years. Yeah, 3 years, but it's like you don't have to be like 100% in the U.S. the whole time. Jester asks, how long is an appeal for asylum taking for the state of Florida? I don't know. Afghan says, do you think Afghans can still sponsor a spouse if they're a U.S. citizen? They can start the process. Whether they'll be able to finish it and how long that'll take, that's an unknown. Jester follows up a question about BI and appealing. You got to talk about attorney in private. We don't do that kind of stuff, but it's more complicated than to be something I can answer here, Jester. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in, and 70% of the questions are about timelines. So we'll see what happens. The immigration game is just really hard because as y'all know, the president just changed, and he's going to change everything. So if people are, I guess you can see my frustration talking about this. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. And so if 1 or 2 people ask, but it's 100 people, and not just here, people calling, email me all day with this too. So like, I can't tell the future. I'm just going to tell you based on what the current rule is, what the situation is. But to say what's going to happen in the future, especially when I don't know anything about your cases, it's so case-by-case specific immigration. 99% of it is based on the minute details of your case, like your birth certificate. No one's saying my birth certificate is proper, but we have problems with birth certificates all the time. People's birth certificate errors. And then there's a wild card, what country you're from, and then just what field office. Every single USCIS office does things differently. Every single embassy does things differently, and they all have their own timelines. They treat different people differently. So it's so all over the place, and based on the case type and background, all this kind of stuff, it's just impossible to answer these questions. And so I don't like not being able to answer questions. Obviously, I'm a live show. I don't want to come in and say I don't know the answer. It makes it look like I don't know what I'm doing. But I answer it like that because I do know what I'm doing. I don't want to give you some nonsense and have you have false hope. And you plan your life and your family and your children, your school, all this kind of stuff. So by saying I don't know, it's giving you the knowledgeable answer. So that's what's going on there. We had a question. Rachel says, please tell us more about IMVVI-based parole. The IMVVI program was a program instituted by President Biden for, certain relatives of people that are military members or veterans even. And it allows them to come into the United States with parole. And then once they're here, potentially they can file for a green card. Now, this very unknown program, word didn't really get out. And I can't find statistics on how it's been operating, all this kind of stuff. So that's the big picture. I'm not sure if Trump is going to continue or not, or has. He's probably going to stop it, but it's worth a shot if you could apply for it. Hello, Pat Patel. Good to see you. Okay, Sonia asks, should I anticipate any issues with 2 misdemeanors for driving without a license, green card review? One misdemeanor, usually that's an infraction. I'm not sure why they put it as a misdemeanor. So that's weird right there. Having one, no, but having 2, that's kind of like you already knew you're not supposed to drive with a license. And so should you anticipate? Yeah, you got to be prepped for it. You got to show that you took care of the tickets, what the circumstances were, have positive stuff to your background. Yeah, they'll say, okay, like one time, okay, you made a mistake, but 2 times, that's you have a reason, and you're going to hospital because you couldn't breathe. I don't know, have a reason. It doesn't look the best. They can still approve it; it's discretion. I got to see why there's a misdemeanor too, because those are typically infractions. So we got to look at the court records. You need to have certified records or originals and evidence you took care of him and what the judge said, all that kind of stuff. Patel says, I have a question. Okay, what's your question? SB law firm, if an immigration takes 18 months long for AP, what's the best legal step? Thank you. So I think you have an embassy case, and after the interview, you got stuck in administrative processing. It's 18 months. You try suing them, but that's less than that successful to sue them on these delays. The government is challenging him, and the judges are not accepting it. So that's really it, just suing. But I'm not sure it's going to be successful or not if you do that. Let me see. We got a lot of questions all of a sudden. C. Marcus, would someone claiming to be a green card holder for work be inadmissible for a green card through Marist USC? So it's a mixed bag. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Because when you claim to be a green card holder through work, one is you might create a false social security number to get that job. In some states, will consider that fraud if the social security number belongs somewhere else, and that could be a crime. And so they'll deny you for that one. But some states, they don't, like, even though it is a crime even, but they don't do anything. So I've seen this case be approved a lot of times, what you're saying. But there's like Supreme Court case where like some guy in Utah did that same thing, and they were denied, and they were deported. So that's not the good news to hear the way I'm saying it, but usually it's okay. No one says anything, but there's court cases where it's gone bad. C1Q, I heard some rumors that the next DV will be based on points. I can't answer rumors and stuff like that. Once a law comes in, we'll let you know. Ryan says you got a Persian accent. I don't know. I was born and raised in America. I'm not sure. I speak Persian, but I don't hear a Persian accent in there. But yeah, thank you. Chatita says, hello, can I renew permanent resident card with a DWI misdemeanor happened 8 years ago? Yeah, renewals of I-90 green card, they typically don't bother that. So it says, if K1 rejected, does it make sense to begin from a beginning apply marriage case and this travel ban? Immigrant visa will be considered different because technically, so there's no travel ban. So I can't say it will be treated different law because there's no travel ban right now. But if K1 is denied, you might as well then get married and restart the process to get your place in line. I guess that's one option. I don't know if it's the best thing. First of all, we don't have a travel ban. I don't know the whole situation. I don't know your relationship scenario, when you could get married and what the families say about it. There's a lot going on. So you're getting too much into like unique case specific stuff. We got to have a meeting on about that. But you got to see, because a rejection just means it can happen for so many reasons. Like if they think you're doing fraud for some reason, or you're SEPA, if you had Sadbazi with SEPA, then you just screwed it completely. So there's just more. We got to see why it's rejected or denied or something like that. It's a bigger thing than for me to be able to say based on the information you're providing. Moadil says, in 2025, when will be the right time for a U.S. passport to file for their spouse? there's no right time. If you have the proper case and you want to move forward, just do it. Schedule a private consultation. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Also download our guide on this topic, free. marriageimmigrationlaw.com is the website, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Patel says, I've submitted all my documents, family visa. My document is still, they say, not accepted. Why? They can have a complete explanation of why it is either that's sent to you. That's why. Look at what they wrote your letter saying why. I don't know what to tell you. You can't ask me. I haven't seen the letter that they sent you saying that. Just read it, and if it's not clear, contact USCIS or get a private attorney at this point because you have deadlines you got to get to as well, probably. Okay. See, Marks, I understood. So when you have an interview and are requested to bring a W-2, what should they do? Give them what they asked for and upload it. I mean, it's what you do. Give them what they asked for. I'm not sure what the question is. Like, they ask you for a document, then give it the document. Oh, you're saying W-2 for? I'm sorry. There's so many different questions about working. Well, that's problematic. I can't advise you on what to do here, but we want to see the situation. Check the social security number first to see if it belongs to everybody, if it's one that you just made up. And then if they said you're a green card holder, did you show a fake green card or did you use fake ID or not? And then it's kind of like, they usually don't ask you to bring a W-2, but we got to see what it is. And it's really luck to see if it's a field officer that hassles people about that or not. Chatita says, thank you, sir, very hateful and valuable or appreciative, very hateful, hopefully not hateful, grateful, I think you said, or something. Well, thank you, Chatita. Sue says, you're shining like a diamond, brother. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much, Sue. I wish I had the clearer answers and better answers, frankly, child, man, but God bless you. Ryan says, my kid, at least so Ryan, you asked about having an educational degree. What can he do? Nothing. That doesn't really matter for immigration. If you find a job here, if someone wants to apply for you, that may be a thing to do. Or marriage case, there's a green card lottery or something like that. But schedule a private consultation. Look into it more. But I'm not sure there's anything that you can do other than basics of green card lottery or family or you get an employment. Peter says, wait for RFE or upload bona fides to USCIS online account to prove real marriage. I don't like to submit stuff midway. We have to see, Peter, what you submitted before, if it was enough, or if it's important enough for you to upload documents after the fact. Chayda says, thank you so much for your helpful information. Oops, I mean helpful. You're welcome, Chayda. Thank you so much. All right. Brasuka said, do you think I will have any problems coming back after a green card review abroad if approved? I don't know. I don't know anything about you. Just answer that question. Modio says, what's your thoughts on virtual online marriages? Consider U.S. citizen wants to get married online. That's fine to get married online, except that you have to see each other physically before filing any immigration case before the marriage is recognized. Lovey says, will they approve the green card filed through marriage during Trump admin? They're approving cases right now. I don't know what to tell you. Hamad says, hi, to file for naturalization for my family, I completed 5 years, what should I do? Schedule a private consultation, go to jqqlaw.com/contact. I got to see what's going on, what you're talking about. Peter says, if there was a typographical error on divorce decree and has been corrected, should we upload that to online account? Yeah, I should upload that one. But I can't tell you to upload because I got to see what the typographical error was. And if it's a big problem, if it causes the divorce in the question, you might need a family law attorney. So generally we would upload it, but I can't ask you to do that or recommend it because I haven't seen the document you're referencing. Patel says, my family USA file now current. Still, my file is still not submitted. 3 months ago, my file is everything accepted. Now they said send it again. I mean, see what the reason is that they said is a problematic and fix it. That's that. I don't know your file, Patel. I can't answer that question. Travel for a green card holder. I don't know what the question is. Any I-589 update? No. Classy asked, my passport is expired from my home country. I applied for adjustment of status, married U.S. citizen. Will that be a problem? Well, no, but renew your passport because it'll help you get in the building in case Real ID Act goes into place. And you should just have a valid passport. King says, I'm a green card holder currently outside the U.S. for 3 weeks. Judging what's going on, suggestions? I know I don't have any suggestions. Hamid says, hi, you got to ask your questions properly. Syed says, if my husband was on asylum but got green card through me, is it okay for him to travel? He needs to use the refugee travel document. And generally, I can't say if it's okay for him to travel because I don't know anything about your husband, his background, so I can't give you that okay. At the minimum, he should have a refugee travel document. The Chosen says, USCIS denied my N-400 saying I'm already a derivative citizen. Oh, what should I do? You're in a grip of mess. You got to see whether you got derivative citizenship properly or not, and sometimes it's like impossible to document it. So the Chosen one, schedule a private consultation. we got to look over see what happened. But that could potentially be a nightmare situation that happens because they already think you're a citizen, but it's hard to document it to actually get the citizenship paperwork. So you're stuck in this limbo of like not knowing which one you are. Ronaka says, "Good evening. I filed VAWA and my I-130 was approved. Am I safe to travel to my home country? I can't answer if you're safe to travel. I don't know anything about you, and there's risks involved. So that's that. All I can say." Michael asks, my Filipino wife wants to work in Japan. Can I still do the I-130? Yeah, I-130 is to start to get the process started. You get that up and running, and then later on you do consular processing. Hamad says, is consultation free? No, it's not. Robinson says, my consular officer set to return passport with medical. Is that a good sign? I mean, if you're going to get the approved, that's what they have to do. But, it's not over until you're in the U.S. with the green card in your hand. Peter follows up. The date of the divorce absolute was 20th of February, but was written in error as 20th February 2023. So he corrected from the court. So, okay, that's better. So if it was the opposite, where you just don't want to have overlapping marriage dates. So you want the divorce to be completed and then the new marriage. We've had it where people's divorce date said it was after their new marriage, just the marriage after the fact, and that becomes a problem. So that, based on what you're telling me, is probably okay. And I would upload that to fix it because that's an important one. And then your I-130 might reflect the incorrect date as well. WSW says, my wife is American and has Syrian citizenship. She lives in Turkey. Is there any problem bringing her here? My wife is American and has Syrian citizenship. So if she's American, she's a citizen, then I'm not sure why it would be a problem bringing her here. Hopefully she's not hanging out with ISIS or something. That could be a problem. But other than that, if she's a citizen, then I don't understand why you would think it was a problem. All right, we got 8 more minutes. Shoot out your questions, and we'll take it from there. CCS says, I have a green card. Can I apply for citizenship this year? Should I wait now or after Trump? Trump, 99% doesn't matter. You have to wait till you have proper, requirements for citizenship. If you have problems, you have problems. Whether it's Trump or not, you're going to have the same problems. So that Trump shouldn't be a reason to stop you from applying for citizenship. Having a bad or good case is what should stop you or encourage you to file. So Cecilia, please schedule a private consultation so we can look at your case. jqqlaw.com/contact. jqqlaw.com/contact. The Chosen says, how can I book a consultation? Because I'm losing my mind with this derivative decisions thing. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact, the chosen one, and schedule a time. Consultation fees apply, but I'll tell you there what the consultation fee is. But yeah, I'd be losing my mind too. You're in a really bad limbo. I've seen people be stuck where they can't get citizenship, but they can't naturalize N400, but at the same time, the government won't give them a certificate of citizenship N600. So you're stuck in this middle situation. So we got to see how you probably got through your parents, how they got status, how old you were, who you're residing with at the time, how much of it we could document. So you may need to do what's called an N600, but we got to study the situation and hopefully there's a solution, because I've seen people get stuck in the limbo and there's nothing to do. Essentially, it's ridiculous, but that does happen. Terry says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Yeah, the immigration, some weird stuff pops up sometimes. Cam says, my husband doesn't make enough money. Can I affidavit for myself? If you're lawfully in the United States, not lawfully in the States, but you have work authorization in the U.S., you can, but we got to see what's going on. Lady says, I'm on a green card traveling to Istanbul in 2 weeks. Will I have problems with entry? I don't know. I don't know anything about you, Lady Kurda. The Chosen follows up. My dad was a citizen when I was 10. I was under 18 and had a green card. Did you reside with your U.S. citizen dad, and do you have evidence of residing with him? That's going to be the main feature there. And if so, you shouldn't have applied for citizenship. That was a waste of money at the time. Cam says, I'm on an H2 program. H2, so H2B is a temporary worker program. Cam, you got to show that your income is going to continue continuously. H2B, I think, is like seasonal worker visa, I think. So I got to see what's going on, but I'm not 100% positive if you could use your income because it's a temporary work. You might be able to, but because it's seasonal, I'm not sure if that's can be considered. They can hassle you potentially, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The Chosen, okay, that's good. You live with him. You just got to document all this stuff. Luz says, will the ban affect those who have interest coming up? There's no ban right now. I can't answer that question. The Chosen says, we lived with him, but we stopped talking. So you got to file it, having documents maybe your school records would show that get like school transcripts and stuff from like middle school and high school. So you're living with them. He was listed as your parents. You're living here with them, and might have to use that and file N600. Let's see. Patel says, I have an F3 current on file now. I already answered your question, Patel. They said documents all accepted. I'll just send documents again. It could be the National Visa Center is making a mistake, but I haven't seen your file. I haven't seen your documents. I haven't seen the letter that National Visa Center sent you asking for documents. So you're asking me to like have a blindfold and start driving a car. I can't do that. Unless like I can't lead the way when I have no idea of what actually is happening other than some sentences you're saying. So this is why you got to have an attorney to help you with this stuff. Terry says, good afternoon. I'm a USA wanted living in El Salvador, wanting to live in Canada. Okay. Okay, I'm on a 3-year extension. Well, that's good. That's good. So we got to see what's going on and that you have consistent income. It could be used potentially. Samantha says, if you're a U.S. resident, your husband's not signing to remove the conditions to your 2-year-old involved. You got to file independently. And if we got to see what's going on, Samantha. So schedule a private consultation. So if they're not, you got to file it in time. You got to do a waiver base and say, abusive spouse. I guess it might be abusive if it's true. And then maybe file, divorce if needed. If someone's not helping you keep your green card, that's some sort of abuse at the very least. But we got to see what's going on in more detail. It says, okay, the link in your bio, can I book for tomorrow? No, there's no time tomorrow. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact, fill in the boxes, and then I'll reply by tonight probably with a calendar link for scheduling a consultation. We can take it from there. There's no times tomorrow. This week I'm pretty packed. Maybe I could make a spot on Friday, but probably is going to go Monday or Tuesday. But just do that, and we'll separately outside of here talk about it. Singh says, I was wrongfully denied adjustment of status upon entering through K1 and marrying within 90 days. What's your advice? Why did they say you were denied in the application, Singh? I don't have any advice. Again, it's like I'm blind and you want me to drive a car. Like, well, why they deny you? How can I answer that? Also says, I've been waiting for my interview for green card for 2 years. I'm nurse with EB3. EB3, even if you're current, it's like backed up. It's like a mess. The chose, I'm losing my freaking mind because they told me don't ever apply for F400. Yeah, because you're a citizen. So F400 is people who are green card holders. So don't lose your mind. You're supposed to file for an N600. You filed the wrong form. You should have consulted an attorney ahead of time, but okay, whatever. But now you got to see how you could document form N600. Michael says, do you think the K3 visa is still worth filing the I-130 time-wise? Not really. I don't even tell my clients about the K3 option usually unless they bring it up. And if you want to, if you do it yourself, do it. We charge an extra $1,000 to do a K3 and just warn clients that's probably not worth it, but you could give it a try. You never know. Is it hard to apply for Canada citizenship? I'm not a Canadian immigration attorney. I can't advise on Canada. Gat says, how will the ban affect K1 visa? There's no ban right now, so I can't answer that question. Nazi says, hello to you too. Ahli X says, so best to wait. Unfortunately, yeah, I have cases that are current for a year and a half right now, EB3 category, and they're not approving it. It's kind of ridiculous. And it says, after getting your acceptance notice, work permit, how long for the actual permit? A week. Singh said, denied, claiming no response to notice of action when they confirmed was never sent. So Singh, you got to follow up and say, hey, this is a wrongful denial and try to have it fixed without having to appeal, particularly spend money on that. But you got to act quick, contact the government, contact organizations that can help, get a lawyer, all that kind of stuff, try to fix it. Law says, how long does the case decision get approved? There's no timelines. I-130 takes forever. Yep. Michael says, thank you. You're welcome. That says, we actually answered that question. Is there a backlog on N400? What is the process hour for that? No, there's no. N400 is a citizenship case. It depends on which field office you're going and your background. So first of all, I just filed a case last month for the field office in Seattle, Tacoma, Washington. And we got the interview within a month. We got every notice within a month. It's for April. So 2 months to 2.5 months after filing, they have an interview. And then we have other cases, other field offices, 5 months in San Antonio and stuff like that. And in some cases, it takes over a year because they have background issues or the case is lost. So there's no backlog. Maybe a certain office has a backlog, but there's no real answer to your question. You just wait. It's not going to be that long, relatively. Ali says, thank you for doing your live streams. You've been informative. You're welcome. God bless. Thanks so much. Wong says, I got arrested in May 2019 for illegal gambling in New York and pled guilty. Ooh, that's not good. For conditional discharge, I'm available to file for naturalization. So illegal gambling is a violation. It's a question asked on there. So you got to schedule a consultation with a local attorney that could go with you to an interview if you decide to file. I'm not in New York, so that's case specific enough, issue enough that you need a local attorney. But it's problematic. You shouldn't have. They have to research the guilty plea of what you said in there, what your conviction was under. It's complicated. Samantha says, how much is it going to cost having a lawyer to petition on your own to remove the conditions? I don't know. It depends on the facts. If you have like four kids together, it's really obvious you're a couple, the price goes down. If you have like no evidence of your relationship, the price goes up because it's more work. Schedule a private consultation, review it first, and we take it from there. Seeing sort of what organizations help. I have used a lawyer and done motion to reopen, yet nothing. Well, you shouldn't have done a motion to reopen. If I don't want to throw your lawyer on the bus, but you got to try your best other ways to contact them. By organizations, I'm in like, the ombudsman's office, your senator, or the community liaison officer at the USCIS office that you went to. Maybe you just walked in the office and said, hey, listen, you guys sent this, it's not correct. But if potential is at the National Benefit Center that sent it. So we got to see what's going on. A lot of these methods, a lot of lawyers don't know about. Maybe they do, they did. I don't want to throw your lawyer in, but I'm not sure what's your case. Maybe it was best just do motion reopen. I don't know. So that's the long and short of my answer for that. One more question. Mir said, I'm an Afghan citizen. My wife's a U.S. citizen. We got married. How much time? I don't have timeline answers. The chosen sad thing is lawyer made me file. I lost my money. I was already a citizen. I mean, there's a question on Form F-100. Are your parents a citizen? That should have triggered them to ask you about that question. So that wasn't appropriate. I mean, if I don't know what you told your lawyer ahead of time, but if you're already have parents that are citizen, and you got your green card as a child, that should have been a trigger that you shouldn't file for F-100. So maybe the lawyer that you hired is not an immigration lawyer, and that they don't know this stuff. But that's, you got to talk to them about getting money back somewhat. So that if there's evidence that they should have known this, that was inappropriate to file for F-100. It wasn't correct. Okay, you're welcome, Samantha. And last question. So I come here as a refugee, I have a green card. Can I travel with re-entry permit, travel as a passport? No, if you're a refugee, you got to travel with your refugee travel document. That's what you got to do. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on Immigration Talk. We do live pop-ups too. YouTube is the best place to ask questions. We'll get to it more certainly there. If you want to schedule a private consultation, go to jqqlaw.com/contact. And download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, the website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Happy days. God bless. Be safe. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.